Are you ready?
Yeah. Woo. Well.
Hey everyone, for WrestleTrivia, I'm your host, Kevin J. Callis.
Yeah.
And you're watching episode 52 of Wrestling Jeopardy, the interactive game show where you're the contestant.
You're gonna find out what hard is all about.
And as always, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Now let's go to the board and check out the categories that you're gonna be quizzed on. Starting with, what a ripoff. Followed by Facepainted Freaks. Our third category is Tag Team Turmoil. Up next, Gimmick Matches. And our fifth and final category, as always, voted on by our WrestleTrivia Maniac members. And you can be a part of the creative process. All you have to do is click on the join button below and become a member today. And their choices were WWE Hall of Fame Inductors, the WWE Hall of Fame Legacy Wing, and WWE Hall of Fame Omissions. And this category just squeaked out a victory. It'll be WWE Hall of Fame Inductors.
How did I land this gig? This is bull.
And that's how it means it's time for the 200-point job round. This is the absolute easiest round in Wrestling Jeopardy. So let's jump in and kick things off with the first clue from Oh, What a Ripoff. When Vince McMahon was unable to sign the Road Warriors during the late 1980s, he created his own monstrous version of the LOD and called them this name. You better say your act of contrition, because the answer is demolition. We move on now to the second clue of the job around. Name these face-painted freaks. And that's Mosh and Thrasher, better known as this Attitude Era tag team, who are the Headbangers. Third clue of the job around brings us to Tag Team Turmoil. The shocking breakup of this tag team occurred on Brutus Beefcake's wrestling talk show back in 1992. This moment also gave us arguably one of Bobby the Brain Heenan's greatest lines ever.
Janetti tried to dive through the window to escape.
The answer, who were the Rockers? On to the fourth clue of the job around. What was the name of the gimmick match that featured Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels on March 31st, 1996 at WrestleMania 12? What is an Iron Man match? And we finish up the job around with this clue. Who inducted both Peter Maivia and Rocky Johnson into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2008? And that would be the final boss, who is The Rock. Alright, hopefully you went 5 for 5 there. We're moving on now to the second round, each clue worth 400 points. Two massive bruisers in combat fatigues might not seem like LOD clones, but the comparisons became painfully obvious when this duo was paired with Paul Ellering. True story, I was once on a flight down to Orlando and I sat next to Razor, and the dude's like huge. I barely had any room to sit. I was in the middle seat too. Sucked. Anywho, the correct answer, who were the authors of Pain? We move on to Face-Painted Freaks for the second time. Name this duo. Low-key, one of the greatest entrance theme songs of all time was performed by the insane Clown Posse. Here comes the second clue from Tag Team Turmoil. After being defeated by the Spirit Squad in a match where the losing tag team must split, Hacksaw Jim Duggan was attacked by this special needs superstar. Who is Eugene? On to Gimmick Matches for the second time. What was the name of the gimmick match between Edge and Randy Orton June 14th, 2020 at Backlash? It's pretty hard to live up to the hype of something billed as the greatest wrestling match ever. And let's finish up the 400-point round with another clue about WWE Hall of Fame inductors. Who inducted Rey Mysterio in 2023? And that would be K-Dog, who is Conan. We're moving on to the 600-point round now with a clue from Oh, What a Ripoff. The commentary team, especially JBL, disparaged this tag team, claiming that Connor and Victor couldn't carry the Road Warriors jocks. Who were the Ascension? Time for more face-painted freaks for 600. Name this tag team. Originally formed in the NWA and Jim Crockett Promotions in the late 1980s, the Warlord and the Barbarian were better known as the Powers of Pain. Here comes Tag Team Turmoil for 600. This jealous jerkface became a blue-collar bad guy when he cost his fun-loving friend the Money in the Bank briefcase. And what's pretty pathetic about this tag team breakup is that these two never even had like a match. But the correct answer is Mother Tucker. Alright, we passed the halfway mark and we're on to gimmick matches for 600. What was the name of the gimmick match between The Big Show and Eric Rowan on December 14th, 2014 at TLC? And they could have changed the name of this pay-per-view to Tables, Ladders, Chairs, and Stairs. The correct answer, what is a steel stairs match? Let's finish off the 600-point round now with the third clue from WWE Hall of Fame inductors. Who inducted Pat Patterson in 1996? Now you may recall I dropped this little tidbit back, I think it was the Survivor Series Jeopardy episode that I did back in November. The correct answer here, who is Bret the Hitman Hart? And we begin the 800-point round now with Oh, What a Ripoff. Before going on to Hall of Fame careers as single superstars, Sting and the Ultimate Warrior teamed up to form this Road Warrior-inspired tag team. They were called the Blade Runners and they were managed by Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, which always gives me an opportunity to remind you folks that back in the day during grade school, my nickname was actually Hot Stuff. We're on to Face-Painted Freaks for 800 now. Name this tag team. Back before Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa joined the Bloodline, they were 7-time IWGP champions in Japan, and they were called the Gorillas of Destiny. On to Tag Team Turmoil for 800. And you've made it, it's daily double time. Think about tag team breakups over the years and place your wager now. Alright, time is up. Here comes this episode's Daily Double Clue. Just as they were about to capture a victory against the Outsiders during this 1998 WCW pay-per-view, Scott Steiner turned on his brother Rick and joined the New World Order. And this all went down at Super Brawl 8. Here comes Gimmick Matches for 800. What was the name of the gimmick match between the Road Warriors and the Midnight Express on November 27th, 1986 at Starrcade? Dubbed the Night of the Skywalkers, what is a scaffold match? And here comes the final clue before the 1,000 point round. Who inducted Bruno Sammartino in 2013? Who is your daddy and what does he do? The correct answer, who is Arnold Schwarzenegger? And speaking of daddies, shout out to faithful viewers Billy and Wendy, who just found out they're going to be parents later on this year. Congratulations to you two. All I'm saying is that Kevin would be an incredible name for a son.
You can get no respect. How do you like that, huh?
Hey, Oof!
Yeah.
Please hit my music.
Yeet.
And it's time for the main event, the 1,000 point round. If you think you're a diehard wrestling aficionado, these 5 questions are guaranteed to put your knowledge to the test.
Tough luck, buddy.
And we begin with, oh, what a ripoff for the final time. After SummerSlam 1992, the Legion of Doom went their separate ways when Hawk traveled to Japan and formed this tag team with Kensuke Sasaki. And they were called the Hellraisers. On to Facepainted Freaks for the final time. Name this tag team. And that is Vampiro and the Great Muta. When they wrestled for WCW, they were called the Dark Carnival. On to Tag Team Turmoil for the final time. These two wrestlers feuded, formed a short-lived tag team, broke up, and then had a match at WrestleMania in 2016. Sprinting through half a year's worth of storyline in like a couple of weeks, who are Chris Jericho and AJ Styles, also known as Y2AJ. Here comes Gimmick Matches for the final time. What was the name of the gimmick match between CM Punk and Chavo Guerrero on the February 5th, 2008 episode of ECW on Sci-Fi? I mean, I guess nowadays I would accept the answer of the Gulf of America. However, back in 2008, this was the Gulf of Mexico match. And one clue left on the board before Final Jeopardy: who inducted Hulk Hogan in 2005? And that would be Sylvester Stallone. Yo, Adrian, you did it! You survived the regular Jeopardy round. However, now it's time for Final Jeopardy, and let's find out what this episode's category is. Failed business ventures. Alright, time is up. Here comes this episode's Final Jeopardy clue. Due to low television ratings, the original XFL ceased operations after one season, with this team winning the inaugural championship game. Was it A, the Chicago Enforcers, B, the Los Angeles Extreme, C, the Orlando Rage, or D, the San Francisco Demons? Good luck. Dubbed the $1 Million Game after the amount of money awarded to the winning team, the Los Angeles Extreme demolished the San Francisco Demons 38-6. And that does it for another episode of Wrestling Jeopardy. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. My name is Kevin J. Callis.
Yeah.
And I'll see you next time.